After ending the club meeting on a high note, we split up to go our separate ways. I still wasn't entirely sure how I should go about this, or how I should feel. Well, I can't really lie to myself. I am genuinely scared of what's gonna happen this week. It feels wrong to think about her plan. But with everything she told us, it really was the only option. Also, what I guess they're going to take revenge on the MC in this one. But I gave that MC my name. But all of the actions that he did, like, aren't really mine. At all. So it feels a bit weird that they're all mean against me, even though I just literally jumped into this mod. All that stuff that I supposedly did before this mod started doesn't count, because that's so fucking distant. That's so fucking distant from what I'm doing. Like, now I'm playing it. Like, if you really want me to do that, like, then you should, the first act of this game should be like an abridged version maybe of me, like going automatically of course, but me playing the game, quitting it, and then playing it again and again, and then like being not caring about them or something. So, but say it feels a bit off as well. But also, I guess that's not happening, but what would also be very cool is if Monica has this like very bad image of MC or whatever. And that's why she created this mod, or this is like her revenge thing. And now that I'm playing, or like anyone who plays it, I'm playing it, I'm actually like being nice to them or whatever. Like the player who plays this mod is actually nice to them, and of course like says nice things, and then Monica is like really doubting herself, like, huh, hang on, like, are you this, like, I thought you were mean before. Well, what are you doing? And then it turns out that, you know, like, it's a different person, because it's you, me, the player. It's a bit weird to explain, maybe, but you know, and I do actually genuinely care for them, and that's why I'm not being what Monica thought that was doing what Monica thought was going to happen, and then that kind of like changes her mind again or whatever. That would be kind of cool, but I guess that's not really gonna happen. I kicked the occasional rock as I made my way home, looking around what was supposed to be my home. Monica had been a bit worried about leaving any of us on our own initially, but she let it go after we assured her we'd be okay. For as confident as she was before, she still harbored that fear. However, I still couldn't accept that behind the boy that I had been friends with for so long was this monster. Yeah. Like, that's supposed to be me. Like, no! That's not true. Like, someone else maybe, but that's not me. So now I guess I understand why people don't like this mod very much. Is he really that bad? That just couldn't be true. My thoughts were sown with the seeds of doubt as I thought about this situation. Maybe he and I could figure things out. I smiled to myself. Yeah, maybe I could convince him. Maybe this whole situation is just... My thoughts suddenly shifted to the mysterious person controlling him. My subconscious stopped me in the middle of my empty street. My thoughts taking hold. If my fake childhood friend was really that mean, then was he just some kind of representation of the guy behind him? Monica has to be right about him then. I shrugged to myself before continuing down the street. I took a moment and stopped at my fence, looking over at his house. I've never felt so confused and afraid of someone so close to me before. I looked away from his house before entering my yard. I dropped my back on the ground and sat down on my front porch. Why is this even happening to me? I found myself gazing off towards the sky, watching the sun slowly drop into nothingness. My whole life, all of it, just a big lie. I leaned back on my front door, letting my body relax itself as I let the cool air flow more freely over my skin. Like, if you, what the fuck? Hang on a minute, what the fuck? If you know that this is all a game, then you should also know that there's not that is all bullshit. There's no sun. You're just looking at the picture because you know it's a game. You know you're standing in front of a background. You're standing before a green screen, essentially, in a void of nothingness. You should know that now. So you shouldn't feel wind, you shouldn't see the sun, because this is just a picture. You shouldn't see the sun setting, because nothing's happening, because this is static background. That makes no sense. If you somehow know, or like Monica told you that it's all a lie, so how the fuck can you still feel that stuff? Because that's not even... The only reason why you would technically feel that stuff is if the game... You don't never feel it, because the game just says that you're feeling that, even though you're not feeling anything. It's just the game forcing you to say that line. I feel the wind on my skin or whatever. But you wouldn't actually feel it, because it's just the game telling you to say that, even though you're not feeling anything. So how the fuck are you just... So that's the only reason why you would feel the wind on your skin. Because you know that it's not true. So why the fuck are you just saying that now? Feeling the wind on you. That's impossible, because you know that that's not true. Like a lot of times with these mods where they try to like break the fourth wall like deliberately a lot, and through like or well, not really breaking the fourth wall, but this isn't breaking the fourth wall, but this is the breaking the sentient barrier or whatever, like making them all sentient within the game. Encore had Doki Doki Encore had that as well, and I really disliked that about the mod, because it was so distant from the rest of the mod. A very vague story about the game breaking and them wanting to travel to our reality and whatnot. It also felt so distant from the rest, and I really disliked that. And this game and this mod so far is also having some of those moments. They're all making a big deal out, oh yeah, Monica's sentient and she's making everyone else sentient, and like they all realize, oh, my whole life is a lie. They realize like, hey, none of this is true, like my life, like it's not true or whatever. You know, this isn't an actual house, this is just a background of a house, and I'm meant to think that there is actually a house here. That's what Monica apparently told them all in the club just then. So it's impossible, and then, you know, then they start to question, hey, apparently, like, you know, the game says that that's been my childhood friend, but that's not true. That's just the game telling me that. But then the game is also telling you that there is wind in your face, whatever. So that's not true either. But yet you're standing like, oh, looking at the sunset, feeling the wind in my face. Like that's bullshit. Because you were just questioning some other things and saying, oh, that's bullshit. So that's the wind, and so that's all bullshit as well. And like I said, the only reason why that would be real is if the game coded you to say that, but this is completely different because Monica has broken you from your set path, essentially. That's what Monica did. She like set you free and she took you off the path that was set for you in the code of the game. So that doesn't make any sense either, because you've diverted from the path. So the game would never say that. So you're saying that of your own volition. So it doesn't make any sense either, because like you're supposed to like be partially sentient as well, like questioning your reality. So why on earth would you like deliberately say, oh, I feel wind, even though you know that that's a lie? Now you're just lying to yourself. Like mods that kind of like try to like go for a whole sentient thing. I haven't really seen a mod that pulls that off very well. Admittedly, I've only played two, this one and Encore. And it was slightly in College Club, but that was a mod meant to be a joke mod, so... I know, yeah, it was also in Focus on Me, but that was a rather mediocre executed mod in general, so... But yeah, what the hell? Like, you can't have it both ways. You can't, like, have Sayori question entire, like, oh, what, like, question everything. Oh, all my memories are a lie and everything else is a lie because I'm not in a game. This isn't real life. I'm in a game. I'm standing before a background and I'm not actually at my house or whatever. And yet she's sitting on her porch somehow, even though that's impossible because this is just a 2D screen. She's feeling wind. She sees the sunset. That's all. She should know, or should question, that that is all bullshit, but yet she revels in it as if it's normal. But it's not happening at all because it's a game, because she knows that it's not happening. It's just the game telling you that that's happening. So, you know, you can't have it both ways. I close my eyes, trying to formulate how I should be feeling about this. I shouldn't be feeling terrible, right? Shouldn't I be feeling terrible right now? I sat up straight and looked down at my hands. Closing them, I could feel my skin. Soft, gentle as I thought. That's also kind of impossible, but I've already wanted a rant about that, so let's not go on another one. I felt up my shoulders and around my neck, swallowing once. It just feels real. All of this does. Have I never felt this before? My front began to show through. My usual smile fading away. I feel strangely confident about this. I picked up my bag and shifted it on my shoulder. A little bit. I don't feel like there's any rain clouds, I just feel confident. Maybe this whole scenario was showing me the way to become better. I smiled as I turned around and went into my house, basking in this newfound feeling. I dropped my bag by the floor as I walked into my kitchen. My mind was telling me that food was the #1 priority for this confident Sayori. Ramen, yes. I began to rummage through my pantry, locating the box of ramen I was searching for. Exiting the closet and dashing across the kitchen, I got out the pot and hummed a quiet tune to myself. Filled the pot with water and struggled to get it over the stovetop, letting out a sigh of relief as I put it down. I dropped the ramen into the pot and got a few veggies out to add to it. My stomach started to grumble as I put a meal together. All these actions just felt so natural and fun. I haven't cooked in so long, maybe that's why. Last time I cooked I nearly burned my house down. A fleeting thought crossed my mind as I stopped paying attention to the pot. I wonder if Monica knows about all of that. She seems to know a lot. It must have been terrible surviving with no human contact for so long. In that moment, as if by fate itself, I heard a large sizzle erupt from the stove as my water boiled over, nearly setting some of my precious food with it. "Ah, wait, I'm sorry!" I quickly turned the burner off and lifted the pot off the stove, moving it over to the table. Dang it, at least nothing caught fire this time. I shook my head as I laughed to myself, getting a bowl before sitting down at the table. I took in a deep breath as the smell of the freshly cooked ramen enveloped the room. Again, you know that this is a game, you start to question everything, so why on earth are you like... Yeah, you technically know that you don't have to eat because you're not really hungry, because you're just lines of code. You don't get hungry. And this isn't the game where you have... This isn't like Minecraft where you have a hunger bar or whatever. And how the fuck can you smell? This doesn't make a lot of sense. Like like Monica is convinced that this MC is such a horrible human being controlling the character, and who's just out to get to torture the girls, which is, at least in my case, not true. But yet it is supposed to be me. I'm just forced to be the mean the what's it called, the antagonist here. And then, you know, she's like, nothing is real, all your memories are a lie because you're not, this is a game, you're not in your house, it's just a background, and, you know, there's, the school is empty because there's no one else, there's no other, it maybe says, oh, there are other students, but there are not actually other students because the game just says that that's there, but there really aren't. So, like, you know, she explains all of that, so, like, it's all fake, and then here, she's living as if it's normal. Like, she smells food, she cooks food, she eats food even though she doesn't need to eat, even though she can't smell anything, if you know that the food isn't even there. Like, you know, well, it doesn't work that way. Can't have it both ways. Have a normal story like that and then also have them question themselves the whole time, even though they, like, they only question it partially, you know? A couple of their memories, they question that a little bit, but not a lot. And then after that, she's like, oh yeah, remember that time when I burned my house down, even though a few lines earlier she was like, oh, all my memories must be fake. And then after that, she's like reveling in a memory that she has. Like, You can't have it both ways. You can't have her like doubt all of her memories and then revel in the memories she has. That doesn't work. It feels so weird and impossible and fake and whatnot. I took a deep breath as the smell of the freshly cooked ramen enveloped the room, yeah. Soon enough I couldn't take it anymore. The food was being poured on into the bowl. I picked up my fork and shoveled several mouthfuls within seconds. I couldn't believe it. It tasted so good. Like again, but how even? I smiled to myself as I dug into my meal, my thoughts focusing entirely on my meal. After I had finished my food, I cleaned up my mess before heading upstairs to get changed. Laid out atop a dresser was my casual outfit. Not exactly, but I decided against it, wanting to wear something more comfy. I got my pajamas out of my dresser instead, hugging them as I looked over at my closet for a moment, freezing in place. Is that real too? I walked over and placed my hand on the door, swallowing once as I tried to not think about it too much. I opened the door slowly. It was resting on a shelf, nearly bundled up, almost begging for me to touch it. I put my clothes on the ground before pulling it out. It's out. The rope unraveled itself, the weight of my nightmares resting in my hands. But I called my last resort to stop the pain. I shook my head, calling this my last resort was wrong. I clutched it with one hand as I closed my closet door, walking over to the window and opening it. The cool air greeted me as I looked out over my backyard. Looking down at the thing that could kill me, I nodded to myself once. This thing is dragging me down. And now I have a reason to look beyond. Where did I even think this was a good idea? I threw the rope outside, hearing a resounding thud echo up towards me. A feeling of relief began to soothe my worries. I put a hand to my head and rubbed it gently, the stress of what I had just done beginning to seep in. I decided against taking a shower, instead opting to jump into bed and let sleep sort out my problems for now. Giving up on your only chance of freedom for what the possible. Please tell me it's there. I didn't read that. Alright, well, anyway, I'll have to rewatch the video to read that. I fucking hate automatic dialogue. It happened in Longer Roads a lot. And in this mod as well a few times. I hate it when the game when it automatically switches it to the next one because the character gets interrupted or whatever. I'm never am I done reading because I always have to go back to the history to reread that. But anyway, yeah, I'll end it off here. Yeah, okay, so we'll see where this goes. I haven't even seen my character yet. So we'll see what when he gets introduced. So, hope everyone's enjoyed it. Click the like button if you did. Subscribe to join the Roman army, and I'll see you in the next one. See you later, Romans. Or later.